from your first start with Shadeur, how can you guys build on that as an offense?
We just got to keep doing what we've been doing in practice, get consistent reps, talk over the certain plays and, be on the right page.
Jerry, how beneficial were that first week of practice just with him, and how much more can you guys kind of expand on that relationship and that connection in another week of preparation?
My bad, you're low. I can't hear
Sorry,
you.
just the first week of preparation with Shadeur, obviously, how do you sort of build on that with the second week here coming up for the 49ers game? Just the relationship that you have with him and the chemistry you guys are trying to build.
Oh, yeah, just keep working on that chemistry. Just keep building. Just keep speaking on what I see out there, what he see out there, and just...
The atmosphere in the post-game press conference was thick, with a tension that statistics could never quantify. Jerry Jeudy, the Cleveland Browns' veteran wide receiver, sat before the microphones, his jaw set in a clenched, rigid line that seemed to hold back a torrent of unspoken words. This was not the frustrated grimace of a player dissecting a tough loss or a poorly thrown ball. This was something colder, more profound, the look of a man confronting an uncomfortable, shifting reality within his own team.
Like, you're not at the goal line. Like, you got a lot of dudes behind you. It's inexcusable. He's had a miserable year with a few exceptions. He had the hard third down run last week on the short swing pass against the Ravens where he converted the first down. Short of that, man, it's been a miserable season for him. And yesterday was, I think, his worst play. All the drops he's had.
The rise of rookie quarterback Shadeur Sanders wasn't just another weekly storyline. It was a palpable takeover, and Jeudy's body language screamed the realization that a spotlight he believed was his birthright was pivoting, with a ruthless and exhilarating speed, toward the charismatic, swaggering first-year player from Colorado. When reporters, treading carefully, asked Jeudy about building chemistry with Sanders, the answers were delivered in flat, minimalist fragments. "We just got to keep doing what we've been doing in practice," he offered, his voice devoid of its usual energetic cadence. "Get consistent reps. Be on the right page." It was the verbal equivalent of a shrug, a bare-bones, corporate response that felt deliberately empty. The contrast with the Jeudy of old was stark.
Finds Jerry Jeudy, lights him up, perfect pass. Then Jeudy out of nowhere, he hops? What the fuck is he hopping for? This angle, he sees two defenders and he literally jumps in the air. What is that gonna do for you? Never seen anything like that. Is jumping gonna give you super speed to run past them? Even worse, was he showboating and he just didn't see the defender, so he jumped?
This was a receiver who typically lit up when breaking down route concepts, who enjoyed the cerebral chess match against defenses, who hyped up his teammates with genuine fervor. On this day, however, there was only a cold, detached economy of words. Asked directly about the benefit of that first week of practice with Sanders and how they could expand their connection, Jeudy's reply was a masterclass in non-communication. "Oh yeah, just keep working on that chemistry. Just keep speaking on what I see out there, what he see out there." The sentence itself, stumbling and incomplete, mirrored a connection that was clearly fraying before it could even properly form. That palpable frost in the press room was merely the surface chill of a deeper, more turbulent current running beneath. To understand the full scope of Jerry Jeudy's tightened jaw and clipped answers, one must rewind to the very moment that likely sparked this internal crisis. A single play in the previous Sunday's game against the Las Vegas Raiders. The Browns were up 14-3.
Throughout your career have gone through seasons where there's been a lot of quarterback changes and multiple quarterbacks in a season. And I guess at this point in your career, how do you handle that as a receiver and adapt to a new guy back there?
I just keep being me. Ain't nothing. I can't do nothing. I can't control nothing but myself. Honestly, I just keep running routes. Get open.
Momentum tentatively in their grasp. Shadeur Sanders, making the most of his early opportunities, executed a near-perfect play-action roll to his right. The pocket clean, his eyes scanned downfield before he planted his feet and unleashed a deep ball. It was a 39-yard arc of pure poetry, a dart that dropped over the trailing defender's shoulder and directly into the breadbasket of a streaking Jerry Jeudy. For a rookie, it was an astonishing display of arm talent, poise, and precision. The kind of throw that announces a player's arrival and sends a jolt through an entire organization. Jeudy secured the catch smoothly, a potential game-breaking play unfolding before him. He turned upfield with a clear, green lane to the end zone. This was the highlight reel moment. This was the explosive, offense-validating touchdown that would have cemented Sanders' promising debut and provided Jeudy with a signature play to jumpstart his own inconsistent season. Cleveland fans were already halfway out of their seats. But then, something inexplicable happened. Instead of hitting the afterburners and sprinting to pay dirt, Jeudy hesitated. His stride shortened. He seemed to glide, almost languidly, toward the right sideline. His body language shifted from a runner seized by urgency to an athlete seemingly waiting for defenders to converge, perhaps setting up for a dramatic show-stopping juke. It was a bizarre, theatrical slowdown in a moment demanding raw, unchecked speed. In that fatal split second of hesitation, Raiders safety Jeremy Chin, displaying the hustle Jeudy had momentarily abandoned, closed the gap from behind. With a perfectly timed punch, he dislodged the ball. A surefire touchdown transformed into a devastating, drive-killing fumble. The stadium's collective gasp was audible. On the sidelines, the reaction was a mixture of disbelief and frustration. Analysts and fans alike were left bewildered.
Probably will miss blocks. Running back, they'll probably go the wrong way. Jerry Jeudy, he might get locked up a time or two. Shadeur, you have to be greater than your greatest excuse. The Browns, at least Kevin Stefanski, does not want to start you because he hasn't started you thus far. So Shadeur, you have to go out there and if your line doesn't necessarily block, make a guy miss. If a receiver doesn't necessarily get open, buy time. If the defense does have the right play call, make it wrong. Great throw, great catch, beats great coverage every single time. I don't want to see throws. I want to see long handoffs. That's what we call them on defense when it's indefensible.
What the asterisk is he hopping for? One exclaimed upon replay, noting Jeudy's peculiar little skip before contact. He sees two defenders, and he literally jumps in the air. What is that going to do for you? Is he showboating? The questions were immediate and damning. This wasn't a case of being physically beaten by a superior play. This was a self-inflicted wound, a catastrophic failure of fundamentals and focus at the most critical juncture. After the game, Jeudy fell back on standard athlete tropes to explain the inexplicable. He claimed he didn't see Chin coming. He said he was trying to cut back inside. The excuses rang hollow to anyone who had watched the replay. This was not a player beaten by the scheme or the opponent's skill. This was a player who, in the defining moment of connection with his new quarterback, had somehow lost the thread of the game itself. The fumble was a physical error, but its roots were psychological. This single play serves as the Rosetta Stone for decoding Jeudy's subsequent icy demeanor. To view it merely as a mistake is to miss the profound subtext. Jerry Jeudy didn't just fumble a football. He fumbled a narrative. The pass from Sanders was so pristine, so confidence-inspiring, that it instantly shifted the offensive axis. In that moment, Jeudy was no longer the struggling veteran trying to salvage his season. He was the beneficiary of a potential new era, and that, paradoxically, seemed to be the problem. The 2023 season had been a purgatory for Jeudy in Cleveland. His numbers 32 catches, 395 yards, a single touchdown were a far cry from the production expected of a player once touted as a franchise cornerstone.
Did you guys see the press conference with Jerry Jeudy? Take a look at this. Dude looks absolutely broken. What are they, 2-8? They were 3-14 last year. The former Denver Bronco is just... you can see it in his face. Wait until someone asks a question what he says. If he says anything at all.
Jerry, I know Kevin
Here we go.
said that Shadeur was going to get all the
Asking about Shadeur.
this week of practice.
How important is practice? Basic question.
Specifically to develop chemistry with him and try to get something going.
It's going to be very important.
Nah, that's it.
Just having multiple reps.
The quarterback carousel had been unkind. With Gabriel under center, the offense often sputtered, and Jeudy's targets felt inconsistent, a product of a system finding its way. When veteran Joe Flacco took over, the offense became more deliberate, a ground and pound, possession-heavy approach that rarely featured the explosive downfield shots that maximize a receiver like Jeudy's talents. His confidence visibly waned. Drops became a troubling theme, leading the league in that dismal category for a second straight year. A sense of frustration was building, a sense that his talents were being wasted by circumstance and offensive philosophy. Then came Shadeur Sanders. From his first practice snap, he brought an intangible energy. His arm strength was visibly superior to Gabriel's. His ability to read defenses and make decisions appeared sharper and quicker than Flacco's.
Somebody explain this to me, right? Shadeur throw your long-headed at the ball. Why you want to play around with the ball and cause a fumble? Man, put a 30-yard dot in your hand. You start frolicking. You're a grown man. Everybody watching this man debut, you know it's this man debut. Why in the world are you playing around with the ball in your hand? You work for Dylan? Stefanski put you up to this, bro? Long-headed ass dude. Like, do y'all actually see this, bro? The man get the ball and start frolicking, bro. He frolicking, trying to point off, trying to troll. Why you trolling? Why you playing around in Shadeur time, bro? You could have played around in Dylan time all them times you had time to play. You didn't want to play on his time. You want to play on Shadeur time.
His mobility in the pocket added a new dimension the offense had lacked. Most importantly, he played with a fearlessness and a swagger that were instantly contagious to the younger players on the roster. The playbook seemed to expand overnight. Routes that were previously decoys became live options. The field stretched vertically. For the first time all season, the Browns' offense hinted at a modern, dynamic, high-ceiling identity. And this is where the conflict in Jerry Jeudy's psyche erupted. On a rational, professional level, Sanders represented salvation. He was the lifeline Jeudy desperately needed, a quarterback with the talent to actually leverage his speed and route running, a chance to finally post the numbers that would justify his place and quiet his critics. The perfect deep ball was the physical manifestation of that lifeline.
Trying to throw the game? What was that? Second half or second whatever 350? What the fuck was that?
Yet, on a deeper, more visceral level of ego and identity, Sanders represented a profound threat. Jeudy had endured the struggle, fought through the doubts, and borne the brunt of criticism during the lean times. He had operated, in his mind, as the offensive focal point, the number one receiver battling through adversity. Now, a rookie, the son of a celebrity icon, Coach Prime, arriving with his own prepackaged legend and fanfare, had stepped in and immediately commanded the room, the huddle, and the imagination of the fan base. The story was no longer about whether Jeudy could rebound. It was about whether Sanders could be the future. The spotlight, that fickle and essential currency of professional sports, was shifting irrevocably. The fumble, therefore, can be reinterpreted through this lens. It was not just a mistake, but a subconscious act of narrative sabotage. By failing to finish the play, a play gifted to him by the rookie's brilliance, Jeudy inadvertently, or perhaps on some deep level intentionally, redirected the conversation. The postgame headlines wouldn't be "Sanders dime fuels Browns win." Instead, they were "Jeudy costly fumble mars Sanders debut." It kept him, albeit negatively, at the center of the story. His subsequent press conference performance extended this strategy. By refusing to engage, by withholding the enthusiastic praise for Sanders that the moment demanded, Jeudy was attempting to exert a form of control. If he couldn't control the narrative of Sanders' ascent, he could control his own participation in it. His cold, clipped answers were a wall, a desperate attempt to shield his own diminishing stature from the glare of Sanders' rising star. This dynamic exposes the painful contradiction at the heart of Jerry Jeudy's current predicament. His professional success is now inextricably linked to Shadeur Sanders' development. For Jeudy to reclaim his value, to boost his statistics, and to secure his future in Cleveland or elsewhere, he needs Sanders to succeed and become the permanent starter. A return to a quarterback committee, or a veteran placeholder, condemns Jeudy to continued irrelevance. Yet, his ego is revolting against the very partnership that could save his career. Accepting Sanders as the alpha, as the central figure of the offense, requires Jeudy to relinquish a status he feels he has earned through years of toil to become a supporting actor in a story starring the dazzling rookie. This internal war manifests as the jealousy that seasoned observers can sense. It's the jealousy of a veteran who has grinded in obscurity during a losing season watching a rookie capture the city's hope in a single afternoon. It's the jealousy of seeing analysts fawn over Sanders' potential and it factor while dissecting his own drops and fumbles. It's the raw human resentment that comes from feeling displaced on the hierarchy you once dominated. The challenge for the Cleveland Browns now transcends X's and O's. It becomes a delicate matter of human chemistry and leadership. Can Kevin Stefanski and the veteran leaders in the locker room bridge this gap? Can they help Jerry Jeudy reframe his perspective to see that empowering Shadeur Sanders isn't a demotion, but his only path to rediscovering his own greatness? Jeudy must be guided to understand that being the reliable, veteran safety net for a prodigious talent is a role of immense value and respect. His experience and knowledge could be the steadying force Sanders needs, and in return, Sanders' talent could resurrect Jeudy's career with countless more of those perfect throws. The coming weeks will be a telling test. Every practice rep, every sideline interaction, every press conference answer will be scrutinized for signs of thaw or further frost. The organization needs Jeudy to make a choice. Will he cling to the resentment of a fading spotlight, or will he grasp the lifeline he's been thrown and help usher in the very era that could ultimately define the latter part of his career? The perfect pass was thrown. It landed squarely in his hands. The only question remaining is whether Jerry Jeudy will finally truly catch up to it, not just with his hands, but with his mindset. The success of the offense, and perhaps his own career legacy, depends on it. The clenched jaw must relax into a smile of partnership, or it will remain the enduring symbol of a star who chose to fade rather than share the glow.